You know that feeling. When everything that could go wrong did go wrong. When you lost the thing you thought you could never lose. When the ground beneath you disappeared and you fell. And kept falling. And hit the bottom so hard that you could not breathe. Rock bottom. That place no one wants to talk about. That place everyone pretends does not exist. Until they find themselves there. Alone at 3 a.m., wondering how life became this. But what if I told you that rock bottom is not where your story ends? It is where Allah begins His most powerful work in you. This is the story of a man named Yusuf. Not the prophet, just a man. A man who lost everything in the same year. And who found something at the bottom that changed his entire life. Yusuf was 31 years old. He had built a small business from nothing. 5 years of sacrifice, of skipping weddings, of working when others slept. He had just gotten married. Life for the first time felt complete. Then in 1 month his business collapsed. A partner he trusted had been stealing from him for 2 years. The debt was impossible. He had to sell everything. His car. His savings. The apartment he had just furnished for his wife. And then, as if Allah wanted to make sure he had truly hit the bottom, his wife left. Not because she was cruel, but because she was scared. And Yusuf, for the first time in his adult life, had nothing. No money. No home. No marriage. No plan. He moved into a single rented room. Barely furnished. He stopped praying for 3 weeks. Not because he hated Allah, but because he did not know what to say. What do you ask for when you have lost the will to ask? One night around 2 a.m. he sat on the floor of that empty room. No phone. No distraction. Just silence. And in that silence something cracked open inside him. And he did the only thing left to do. He put his forehead on the cold floor. And he wept. Not with words. Just with everything he had left. Which was not much. But it was enough. Something shifted that night. Not immediately. Not dramatically. But slowly, like the first light before dawn, things began to move. A small opportunity appeared. Then another. 18 months later Yusuf had rebuilt. Not the same life. A better one. One he said he could never have designed himself. He told me. The room I was most ashamed of, became the room where Allah rebuilt me from nothing. Here is what nobody tells you about rock bottom. It is the only place where you cannot pretend anymore. You cannot perform strength you do not have. You cannot fake gratitude for a life that is falling apart. You are stripped completely bare. And Allah, who has always seen through every performance you ever gave, finally has the version of you He has been waiting for. The real one. The broken one. The one with nothing left to offer except honesty. Think about the greatest transformations in Islamic history. Musa fled with nothing into the desert. Ibrahim was thrown into fire. Yusuf, the prophet, was thrown into a well by his own brothers. And in each case, the lowest point was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of the miracle. Allah does not wait for you to be strong to work through you. He specializes in the broken. He chose a stuttering man to confront a pharaoh. He chose a grieving widow's son to be raised as a prophet. He does not need your strength. He only needs your surrender. A diamond is not found on the surface. It is found deep underground, under enormous pressure, in complete darkness where no light reaches. The very conditions that seem most brutal are the ones that create the most brilliance. You are not being crushed. You are being made precious. When a bone breaks and heals, it does not heal back to what it was. It heals back stronger. The fracture point becomes the strongest part of the bone. The place where you broke is the place where Allah is building something that cannot be broken again. Allah says in Surah Ashar, and read this slowly, "Verily with hardship comes ease. Verily with hardship comes ease." He says it twice. Not once. Twice. As if He knew we would need to hear it more than once to believe it. That repetition is not an accident. It is a promise delivered twice so that when you are at the bottom, shaking and exhausted and wondering if it will ever end, you will remember. Ease is not coming after this. Ease is already here. Inside this very moment. You just cannot see it yet. Rock bottom is not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. It is often a sign that He has chosen you for something that required this level of breaking. The people with the greatest stories always have the deepest valleys. The people with the most unshakable faith always have the seasons that almost shook them apart. Yusuf said something that I think about often. He said, I used to ask Allah why He let it all fall apart. Now I ask Him how He had the patience to hold it all together long enough for me to be ready for what came next. Maybe that is the question you need to ask too. Not why is this happening to me, but what is Allah building in me that required all of this to fall away first? So if you are at rock bottom right now, if you are in that empty room on that cold floor with nothing left but a forehead and a whisper, know this: you have not fallen out of Allah's hands. You have fallen into them. The very bottom you are lying on is the palm of something much greater than your pain. And what is being built in you right now, in this silence, in this darkness, in this breaking, is something the surface version of you could never have carried. Stay. Make sujud on that cold floor. Because the one who created you from nothing is not finished with you yet.